It is 6:15 in Douala. Thanks and welcome to join me. I'm Kekem Henry at Timbe for the news. Our top stories. The president of Cameroon football slammed 6 months ban by FIFA for world governing body FIFA for breaching FIFA's disciplinary code. And 3 siblings die after consuming poisonous food to arrest the Anglophone crisis. The major national dialogue is already 5 years old. How much has the resolution of the major national dialogue contributed to abate the crisis? 650 News revisits the strides made so far. Thanks and welcome. Top stories.
Canal International.
Thanks and welcome to join me. Our platforms open for consultation on canalinternational.net. There is a horror in Buea, that is southwest region of the country, as a family is struck by tragedy following the death of 3 siblings. Yesterday, they consumed a poisonous noodle when before they left for a church service, and this has actually traumatized the family of Mr. Stephen Wambo and wife Minette, who are now left only with 1 child, the last one. Details with our Southwest Chief Correspondent, Ines Ondwabala.
News of the death of these 3 children is received with grief at their family residence. We are at the Mwambos in Buea, where mourners are gathered in tears and sorrows. 2 boys and 1 girl from the same parents ate Indomie, a popular noodles brand. As the story goes, they prepared the noodles taken from their own shop. Cooks in the morning, 2 of the 3 children ate and went to church. While in church, they started complaining of stomach ache. Upon reaching home, the 3rd victim ate and also started complaining of belly bites, presenting the same symptoms. They were all rushed to a private clinic in Buea, where they gave the ghost.
So my wife called my first son, asked him to go get Indomie in the car. My car is outside, our car is outside, and prepare for the siblings. So he took, the mom asked him to put on fire. Indomie is there because I supply provisions, Nigerian goods. I buy those and sell.
The children collapsed in church at the Full Gospel Moliko, where the worship, Travis, Kayla, and Grants, the only members of their family of 6 to partake in the meal. Their parents are traumatized and devastated.
While they're checking on them, suddenly my son, who walked there with the mom, was also behaving funny. So she called her daddy, Travis is not behaving all right. So I asked them to check the child as well, and immediately I gave money that they should buy me red oil. While with the doctors there, the news came as a bomb that I had lost my 3 children.
It is not yet certain what killed the 3 children. Investigations are still unfolding as the Buea Judicial Police Southwest Region launched investigations into the tragic death of the 3 young children from the same home.
So we are waiting for investigations to know what is the cause of death of my 3 children.
It is worth noting that countries like Egypt, Toujours, près. It is worth noting that countries like Egypt have banned Indomie consumption, while Kenya is considered doing same. In neighboring Nigeria, the ban is under review.
Heartbreaking indeed. Thanks very much, Ines Ondwabala. Medical workers of the public service have staged a sit-in strike over allowances, poor salaries, and the poor working conditions. The irate workers are saying that the strike actually is certainly going to be indefinite until these issues are addressed. Beatrice Ngamo reports from Yaoundé.
Few public health staff brandishing placards with messages, summary of their plights in front of the Ministry of Public Health in Yaoundé. Their outing this Monday, they say, is simultaneous in the far north, south regions to decry the pitiable state in which they do take care of patients. Recruitment pending for many, as over 30,000 are in this situation, working in public hospitals and other health facilities. Advancements are not paid, family allowance is not paid, no salary reminder call. We don't know how we should work. Lamenting at the fact that the issues they are raising is the same that pushed for last strike, and which the head of government asked solutions which are still to be implemented. The recruitment of health personnel beginning January 2024, until date, nothing. Taking care of patients when your mental health is questionable, health personnel should be focused on treating the sick contrary to struggling to survive, what we are claiming. For livelihood, some of their colleagues are forced to harass patients engaged in other petty businesses. They are the members of the Organization of Health Workers Trade Union, determined to manifest their discontent until answers are given.
Well, thanks very much, Beatrice Ngamu. And in Fumban, that is in the west region of the country, residents have expressed indignation following the announcement of 2 new toll gates that are going to be erected in the Noon Division by the Ministry of Transport. The action actually has sparked outrage, as the residents say that the government needs to rehabilitate the roads or the damaged roads before introducing new toll gates. Details with Ambo Gladys Diba.
Frustration is mounting amongst residents in Fumban in the Noon Division, west region of Cameroon, after the government announced the creation of 2 new toll gates in the region. They have expressed worries that Fumban's roads are in a state of disrepair, with large potholes scattered across many key routes, making travel both slow and hazardous. For many, the idea of paying additional toll fees without any visible improvement to road infrastructure is unacceptable.
Une telle décision doit s'accompagner.
The critical issue here is how toll gates resources are being managed. While toll gates are being increased, many roads remain in poor condition. The current state of our roads does not justify the creation of new toll gates. If the revenue from these toll gates were used to repair and maintain roads, people would be more willing to pay the toll fees, knowing that the roads are in good condition. It is frustrating to spend 6 hours on a journey that should take just 2 to 3 hours. The residents argue that the government should focus on rehabilitating the existing road network, which they claim are a major hindrance to economic activity and safety. Toll gates impact transportation costs, which directly lead to increased prices of goods in the market. A trader who used to pay 500 francs CFA for a short trip may now be charged 700 CFA francs. This policy needs to be re-evaluated. The new toll gates are said to be located on the Koptamo Buda and Bangoren Jakiri axis, 2 major arteries for regional transportation.
Thanks very much, Ambo. And villages and towns in the west region are facing extreme flooding following heavy downpour over the weekend. It was the case in Fokwe in the Buea division, as well as Kekem in the upper Kam division, where entire village almost swept away by the heavy floods. Once more, Gladys Ambo Diba report.
The town of Kekem, located in the west region of Cameroon, is grappling with the aftermath of severe floods after the Ngum River burst its banks early this morning. Residents awoke to find their homes and streets submerged with the flood waters, blocking key transport routes and flooding the central markets.
L'inondation que nous constatons de la mer Noire.
The issue we have here is that the Ngum River is not straight. When the water meanders, it follows several paths, eventually flooding market.
Commercial bikes, the main modes of transport in the region, were rendered useless as the waters rose to dangerous levels. Only the once bustling central market in Kekem, a crucial hub for trade in the area, is now difficult to penetrate, with vendors and customers to abandon entirely.
That water don't come flop, so it don't take two picking for.
The floodwaters carried away 2 children.
Also devastated local farmlands. Farmers whose livelihood depend on their crops now face the harsh reality of destroyed plantations. This marks the second time in 2 years that Kekem has faced such destruction from the Ngom River. Last year, 2 children lost their lives after being swept away by the floodwaters.
Thanks, Clarice. And we move to the markets where the price of eggs has skyrocketed considerably, with many households unable to eat egg, or it's a comfortable breakfast for many households, especially in the metropolis like Douala, Yaoundé, Bafoussam, as well as other major towns in the country. Cynthia Latte takes a look and say the vendors are crying and napping in the interim as a result of this price.
Eggs are no longer affordable for all on the Cameroonian market. One of the most after breakfast food in the country has seen its price skyrocket in the last months. Vendors at the Marché des Chèvres in Douala economic capital decry slow turnout, revealing the price of a tray of egg has moved from 2,000 francs CFA to 2,500 francs CFA depending on the size.
Les œufs sont tellement chers que même...
Egg is depending on the size.
Les œufs sont tellement chers que même...
Egg is too expensive, such that low-income households in Cameroon can no longer buy eggs. Boiled eggs is sold at. We can no longer prepare eggs for breakfast to our children. Now we warm up leftover food for the children to eat before going to school, or we butter their bread to school. Because they cannot cope.
Il n'existe rien.
Egg vendors fear to see their business crumble with the price hikes. They hope for regulation in their sector.
And the major national dialogue was initiated in Cameroon 5 years ago. It's destroyed.
The ongoing turmoil in these regions has created a dire situation for residents. Daily life is marked by fear and insecurity as families grapple with the loss of loved ones and the disruption of essential services. Despite the promises of the major national dialogue aimed at resolving these issues, civil society actors and political observers have expressed deep skepticism regarding its tangible benefits.
Many of the issues that we're discussing have not been realized. For example, we have the Bamina Ring Road. That one has not been realized as we speak. At the conference, we had the legal system, the courts in the northwest and southwest region. As we speak, that one has not been perfectly realized.
To behave in a centralized way like the government has been doing, and then the major national dialogue coming up with decentralization, special status, bilingualism commission, all of that is still part of the centralized package, which is not working.
5 years after the dialogue's implementation, many are left questioning its impact. Observers point out that the situation on the ground remains largely unchanged, with violence continuing unabated. There are increasing calls for concrete solutions to end the bloodbath and restore normalcy in the crisis-affected regions.
A way of solving the problem and keeping the nation together would be to go for a two-state federation or a confederation and do what it takes to make that whole thing work. That means redefine the structure of the state and how it works.
Civil society and
thanks very much, Maureen D. And Catholic Women Association CWA in Yaoundé have been doing enough to make sure they actually contribute in the building and strengthening of the church. This spiritual move was actually followed yesterday by our correspondent in Yaoundé.
Delegates from the different zones all converged at the St. Joseph Parish in Yaoundé for diocesan conference to review their activities for the past 3 years.
We began with Holy Mass, God's spiritual food. We had our conference. It was also very interesting. And to crown it all, there was a social night where you could see women come out of their shelves, see women behaving like young girls.
3 years of hard work and numerous challenges, and coming together on Saturday, September 29, the CWA women carried out elections to renew their bureau with the new leaders. Courage to work in love.
My message is love. We should live in love. We should work together. We should be united in whatever thing we do. Listen more and talk less. And so with this working very hard in this vineyard of our Mother Mary.
A message re-echoed by the parish priest who officiated the special mass.
No, I just invite them to work together hand in hand to avoid competition, jealousy. The new elected bureau has to be supported by all the women so that they will perform their work wonderfully.
The hundreds of Catholic women equally urged to remain the light to the Christians, just like Mary, the virtuous woman.
Thanks, Hyacinth. And we move over to the sports brief, where the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o, has been banned from attending Cameroon's national team matches for the next 6 months for breaching FIFA's disciplinary code. Eto'o, who has been president of the Cameroon Football Federation since 2021, will be unable to attend men's and women's games across all ages. And with that, we draw the curtains for this edition of the 6:15 News with me, Kejang Henry Atembe. Thanking you for being there with us, in which you got information that 3 siblings of the same family died in Buea under very mysterious circumstances after consuming what is known as a poisonous food. And of course, that the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o, has been banned for 6 months by the World Football Governing Body. Thanks for being there with us. Coming up is the debrief.